Hello, guys. I'm working on dinner, but today was kind of a wild day, to be honest. Today started with me waking up late for work. The only reason I was able to like still go to the gym and all of that is because my husband woke me up. And as soon as he like woke me up, he just like kind of shook my arm and I sat up like well upright and I was like, whoa, I'm late. So I had to run around the house and grab all of my stuff. And that is pretty much like how my day started. And I wish I could say that my day changed from that moment onward. I wish I could say that the rest of my days was not like that. But I feel like that was a good indicator for how my day was about to go. So then when I got to work, I was having some issues at work and I had to like ask for help from some colleagues, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of an annoying start to my day. And then I got a emergency alert warning on my phone. And whenever that happens, I'm always like, there's like a half second of like disbelief, like, is this for real? And so then I went and asked the other people, like, are you guys seeing the same alert? Apparently everybody's seeing the same alert. So we had to basically like shelter in place, stay like in the office, like in the upstairs part. So our building was like, you know, a building was like all enough to like be safe. Um, but yeah, they're like, well, the tsunami could hit at this minute now, and I'll be honest, like I've never experienced a tsunami warning, and I was a little bit scared, not going to lie. And at this point, as of right now, I know that the tsunami hit some other parts of the land, but I didn't have good phone signal. I haven't had good phone signal pretty much all day, so I really have to check the news to see what's going on with everybody else. I'm hoping that everybody else around can is safe. Although in the area where I live, we were still getting like alerts, like emergency warning. So I'm hesitant to be like, okay, well, we didn't get any sort of big issues today while I was at work, so that means that everything's fine, everything's safe, and back to business as usual because the alert continued to go while I was at work for a while, and then now that I'm home, the alert is still continuing to go. So I'm thinking, oh, my husband didn't even I'm thinking I'm going to be paying attention to the news tonight, tomorrow before work, and just like really trying to like, I guess like be aware of what's going on. Um, 'Cause the idea of tsunami coming in is actually very scary. I watched a couple of documentaries on them, and it really doesn't seem like you get a ton of time to escape them, and you really need to be like, keeping high ground and like paying attention to emergency evacuation warnings and following instructions and stuff like that. It seems like that's like a really important element, and I really, really, really hope that nobody got hurt. Everybody I work with um, was safe today, which I'm so grateful for. But it's scary too. It's definitely very scary. And the other thing is like the reason why tsunami was in the first place. Um, it seems like the tsunami was like I guess like initiated, like started off by an earthquake. Um, so the earthquake was like an 8.7 earthquake according to the Nerve app, which is like one of the apps that I use to track of stuff like that. I haven't checked on the Japanese meteorological I got, as far as like, the tsunami warning was from Google. That's the warning I got. And it was, for me, because I think my phone settings are in English, the warning was in English. Um, so like the warning, I don't know how to say. So the warning, the message itself was in Japanese, and then there's like a warning that there's an audible warning that says in English. So I was like, wait, what is going on? So I went and like translated the message that I got, and then the message was like, yeah, this is tsunami warning. But it was scary to me. And then like you start thinking about like, how powerful like the ocean is, and like how powerful like, you know, I guess like stuff like that could be with earthquakes and tsunamis. I don't know, it just it's kind of like a weird feeling. It's like there's a point when I was looking out at the ocean from a high point, from like a point that was established as a safe point, right? So I wasn't just like out by the coast watching the sea. I would not do that. I want to be very clear about that. I was looking at the ocean from a distance, a safe distance, and I was just thinking like, it's not something that like we can control, like we can't, humans can't really just like jump in there and be like, oh no, the waves are gonna go this way. Like you just have to make sure that you go someplace safe when something like that happens. And to be completely honest, a little bit scary. So hopefully there's no more issues tomorrow. Because like I said, when I was coming home, all of the sirens and like alerts had not stopped. And on top of that, like the work and stuff like that are closed. Because like I don't know if you were at the stream yesterday, then you might remember me saying like, oh yeah, my cousin's gonna help me out and that first week tomorrow because I think this week gonna help me out. But today, could not do that. The stores were closed. They're still closed. I don't know how long that's going to take either. This is part of why you should always have like emergency food in the house. And like, I'm not saying like you have nothing. Like worst case scenario, I have like dry things that I can soak and then cook, and I have we have like cup noodles, like instant ramen noodles, a couple packs of that. But I feel like that's not a substantial food supply or food emergency. And that it's something that I've kind of been like putting off, but oh yeah, we need to have like emergency food supply. We need to have emergency supply, but I don't really like. I don't know. That's something I need to work on. Like we're fine, but it's just thinking about like if there was like something more serious going on right now, then how would we say it? But yeah, it was definitely really scary earlier getting alert about it. And then on top of that, I have like the app, the Nerve app that I was telling you about. And when I open up the Nerve app to see like what's going on, it's like the entire coast of Japan, like the entire like west coast of Japan is like highlighted. Like it has like varying colors from like yellow to red as far as like how serious the impact was supposed to be. But that was scary because it's like it felt like the whole country, like the whole coastline, like from Hokkaido all the way down to like Kyushu, like um back like where we used to live in the community. Um, that one, the announcement they just did now, I was thinking, it doesn't sound like it's going to be, so I think we're good on that. But yeah, it's something to pay attention to, and then the other thing is, the last thing in regards to this is, I don't know if I brought this up before, I think I did, but the other thing is like it's attached to an earthquake, or it was, you know, basically an earthquake is what triggered it. So because the earthquake was so big, off the coast, I think that's something to like look out for too. Like if there if another earthquake um, warning or situation that happens. Sometimes we get warnings for earthquakes. Earthquakes are not like thunderstorms where like there's like technology where like they predict them like well in advance and they know like, oh yeah, it's gonna be raining in half the city or something like that. But there are some earthquake alert systems that are in place. So there's been a couple times here in Japan where before the earthquake actually started to shake a location, we got a notification saying like be careful, like prepare for shaking, an earthquake is gonna happen. So I think that's something to like pay attention to. But yeah, today was a little bit scary to be completely honest. I was definitely worried. And I asked one of my coworkers if that person was afraid. And they were like, oh, maybe a little bit nervous. And I'm like, I don't know. I just, it just makes you think about like life a little bit. And not just life, um, my new work, like where I'm working now, is like I'm pretty much new. So it's like I don't really like it's not like I've been working with my colleagues for years, but at the same time it's like when something like that happens, you start thinking about like, everybody's well being and like how you can help and like work with the team and like, where is everybody and stuff like that and you know, how can we support each other? And I would say like, that is a positive thing that happened today is that I did see a lot of people looking out for each other, which I think is really awesome. But yeah, if you're anywhere near the coast of Japan right now, please be careful. Ideally, stay away from like the shores until you get a specific all clear that it's safe to go over there. I don't know. I think that's the main thing. And the other thing is, it's not just Japan that was affected by today. Um, my understanding is that it's also parts parts of Hawaii, Alaska, and Russia. So this is all like bits of information I gathered from conversations and while trying to like make sure that like I was in a safe place myself. So right now I'm just talking off of like my experience and just like in a sense hearsay, other than like my experience and what I've seen from like the app and use track all of this. So I gotta like also go and like look into like what the status of everything is right now. But I had at least one family member that was like, "What's up?" And I don't know if they were worried or not. And that's part of why I'm making this stream because I know some of my family watches my YouTube, and also you guys are pretty much like family. And a couple times if something happens, or you guys are worried, that I'll get like messages like, "What's going on? Are you okay?" And stuff like that. But, I don't want anybody to worry. Um, Definitely not about me, but please be careful. Please keep the people that had to evacuate in your hearts and prayers. I don't usually talk about like natural disasters my daily life. I feel like it's something that I want to bring up on the channel. Because I have like a first-hand personal experience with it. Um, yeah, at this point, I'm just really hoping that tomorrow things will be, everything will be all clear and things will be not underwhelming. But I did see some news clips showing that Hawaii was evacuating and that there were other areas that were a lot more affected than my area. So I'm very grateful that myself, my household is safe, everybody is safe, and that my colleagues and I were all safe today at work. But it was scary. So that is what happened today. It started with waking up late. Yeah, just something felt a little bit off, and it went from there. And I'm not even exaggerating with the waking up late. Like I just feel like sometimes you get like a weird like vibe about the day. I don't know how to explain it other than that. It was one of those days. So, yeah, that's what happened. I am just very relieved and thankful that it didn't hit us directly in this part of Japan where I live. I'm praying for everybody else's safety in Japan, in Hawaii, Alaska, Russia, anybody who was affected by it. I hope everybody has time to evacuate safely and that, their lives will be as minimally, as marginally affected as possible. So hopefully they can return to, life as normal as quickly as possible. Oh, man. But yeah, that's what happened today. That is my story. If anybody has questions or anything that they personally want to share, um, let me know. But yeah, I'm feeling that right now. So I will leave the floor open for questions, comments, concerns, new subscribers. For a couple minutes, and then if no one has anything to add, I think I'm just coming out and take a shower and ready to do something. It was a weird day, guys. Just a strange, strange day. But on the bright side, I found out that one of my friends, um, my friend's partner might be going to college class with a friend, right? So he's not like a friend in a sense, but close friends, but someone I've met before, and someone who's really close with somebody I already know, and I like along as well. So looking forward to that. School's supposed to start on August 13th. I have mixed feelings about that. Ooh, I have traditional German egg noodles. That's good. Can I make them? I'm gonna wait for them. And I have some beans. I'm just checking to see what I have, like if the storm is really bad, or with the tsunami is an issue tomorrow, or something like that. Um, storm. I'm thinking about storm because on top of all of the other weather issues and like natural disaster scenarios, the other thing that we gotta keep our attention on to some degree is that's like meandering around this area. And I'm hearing the views on whether or not people can gonna actually make landfall. Oh, we have a ton of pup noodles. What is it? Oh, we have noodles today. They're just not spicy things that fit with. I have vermicelli noodles. I have egg noodles. I have kidney beans. Maybe I'll post the kidney beans. Just in case. Whatever station card. Hey, hold on. No, 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 no. All right. Yeah, I was supposed to go to the grocery store or something. And, over the weekend maybe? I don't even know what we're doing. Oh, yeah. One of my coworkers had a birthday. And then one of my other, um, one of my husband's coworkers was saying that they get together and they were leaving. And, yeah, we did that. We were supposed to go to the beach on Saturday. We went to go see Fantastic Four. If you guys have been part of the channel for a while, you already know probably what I'm gonna say about that. If you're a big Marvel fan, probably skip this part, but I am not a Marvel fan, and I can't think of the last time I liked one of the movies that they've done. So, it's okay. Um, yeah, and then, other than that, I was really tired of this year. Also very hot. Over the weekend, we had a heat advisory. Is it just me, or is there something satisfying with it? I think I'm enjoying that a little bit too much. And I don't really need to do it, but, all right. I have some veggies that are cooked. They smell good. That's a good sign. And, my husband already made rice, which is fantastic. So I think I'm gonna air fry myself some chicken. It's really good. Oh my God, I just realized. So like usually at work I wear blazers. Okay, so this was the fit of the day. I think this is the last thing unless anyone has something to say. So usually at work I wear blazers. So this was my work aesthetic right here, okay? Right? Pretty corporate, right? And then I just have like these flowy pants. They look kind of like a skirt, but they're actually pants. So yeah, this is my work fit. So I just realized when I take my blazer off, you can kind of like see the tattoos on my back. That's part of why, even though it's summer, I always wear like long sleeves and stuff because I don't want to draw extra attention and stuff when I'm kind of tattoos. Anyways, I think that is pretty much all I wanted to say. It's going to close with thank you to people here in Japan and Hawaii and Alaska.